How Friends Became the Funniest English Teacher. Hello, dear friends. Today we have a funny and interesting story. It is about how the TV show Friends became a popular way to learn English. Yes, a sitcom became a teacher. Let's find out how this happened. Many years ago, in 1994, a new TV show started in America. It was about 6 young people. Their names were Rachel, Ross, Monica, Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe. They lived in New York. They talked, they laughed, they had problems, and they drank a lot of coffee. The show was simple, but people loved it. Soon, something interesting happened. People in other countries started to watch it too. At first, they watched it for fun. But then, something changed. In a small apartment in Spain, a student named Maria watched one episode. She did not understand everything, but she heard simple words. "Hi, how are you? Oh my God!" She laughed. "I like this," she said. In another country, in Japan, a student named Ken watched the same show. He liked one character very much. His name was Joey. Joey said, "How you doin'?" Ken repeated it again and again. "How you doin'? How you doin'?" One day, Ken said this to a girl. The girl laughed. Ken was happy. "English works," he said. Slowly, students around the world started to use the show to learn English. But why? Let's see. First, the language was simple. The characters used everyday English. They talked about food, work, love, and friends. Not about difficult things, not about science, not about politics, just life. Second, the show was funny. When you laugh, you learn better. This is true. When Chandler made a joke, students laughed, even if they did not understand every word. They wanted to understand, so they listened again and again. Chandler was very famous for his jokes. Sometimes he spoke in a strange way. For example, "Could I be wearing any more clothes?" Students were confused. "Why does he speak like this?" they asked. But they liked it. They tried to copy him. Sometimes they sounded very funny. Third, the show had repetition. Characters used the same phrases many times. For example, "Oh my God." Rachel said it a lot. "We were on a break." Ross said it many times. "How you doin'?" Joey again and again. This helped students remember the phrases. Let's look at a funny moment. One day, Joey tried to learn French. His teacher was Phoebe. She said, "Repeat after me. Je m'appelle Claude." Joey said, "Je de floop flee." Phoebe stopped. "No, no, no." Joey tried again. "Me poo poo." Students around the world laughed, but they also learned something important. Learning a language is not always easy, and mistakes are okay. Another funny moment is about food. Ross made a sandwich. It was very special. It had many layers. He loved it, but someone ate it. Ross was very angry. "My sandwich?" he shouted. Students loved this scene. They learned new words like sandwich and ate, but they also learned emotion. English is not just words, it is feeling. Now, let's talk about Phoebe. Phoebe was different. She sang strange songs. Her most famous song was "Smelly Cat, Smelly Cat." Students listened and laughed. The song was simple. The words were easy. So many students learned it. Some even sang it in class. Teachers were surprised. "Why are you singing about a smelly cat?" they asked. Students smiled. "It's English practice," they said. Rachel helped students too. In the beginning, she was not very good at work. She learned step by step. Students saw her grow. They felt the same. "I am like Rachel," a student said. "I am learning too." Monica loved cleaning. Everything had to be perfect. Students learned words like clean, kitchen, and rules. Some students even cleaned their rooms after watching. This was a miracle. Now let's talk about Ross. Ross loved science. Sometimes he used difficult words. Students did not always understand him, but they learned something important. It is okay not to understand everything. Just listen and continue. Over time, more and more students used the show. They watched with subtitles, then without subtitles, then again with subtitles, again and again. Some students made notebooks. They wrote new words. They wrote funny phrases. Example, "How you doing?" "Oh my God." "We were on a break." They practiced speaking, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. In some countries, people even met to watch the show together. They laughed together, they repeated lines, they acted like the characters. "Hi, I'm Joey." "No, I'm Joey." It became a game, but also a lesson. Teachers started to notice. "Students are learning from this show," they said. Some teachers used it in class. They played short clips. They asked questions. "What did Joey say? Why is Ross angry?" Students were interested. They wanted to answer. The show also helped with listening. Real people speak fast, and the characters in Friends spoke like real people. At first, students thought, "This is too fast," but later they understood more, little by little. Another reason was emotion. Students loved the characters. When you love something, you spend more time with it. So students watched many episodes, not one, not two, but 10, 20, 50. And with every episode, their English became better. Some funny habits appeared. Students started to think in English. One student said, "When I drop something, I say, 'Oh no.'" Another said, "When I meet someone, I think, 'How you doin'?'" English was no longer just a subject. It became part of life. Years passed. The show ended in 2004, but the story did not end. People still watch Friends today. New students discover it every year. Today, if you ask many English learners, "How did you start learning English?" some will answer, "With Friends." So why did this show become such a popular teacher? Because it is simple, funny, real, emotional, and full of life. Dear friends, maybe you can try it too. Watch one episode. Listen carefully. Repeat simple phrases. Laugh. Enjoy. And learn. Because sometimes the best teacher is not a book, not a classroom, but a group of 6 friends sitting on a couch, drinking coffee, and helping the world learn English. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you next time.